This is To Help You Heal, and I'm your host, Marie Monville. We are going to spend 10 minutes talking about healing. What kind of healing do you need? Is it in your mindset? Is it emotional healing? Is it spiritual healing? There's a lot of healing that we all need, and this is where you're going to find it every week, 10 minutes on Tuesday. I'm so glad you're spending this time with me. Welcome to this week's episode of To Help You Heal. This week, I want to ask you a question. Are you having fun? I was speaking at a leadership retreat this weekend, and this was a question that came up in a lot of my one-on-one sessions. And I know it's something that's come up for me even in the past few weeks as I've reflected on the intensity of my schedule, feeling tired, feeling a little bit less motivated, tackling my daily to-do list. Whenever I get in those places where I just don't have the motivation, the energy, the focus that I usually have, to me, it's one of the first indications is I've probably not been having enough fun. And it's not that I don't have fun in what I do. I love what I do and it is fun for me. But I think when I find myself in a little bit higher intensity of schedule, it's often the place where I kind of put fun at the bottom of the list. It's as if I say to myself, okay, when I get all this other stuff done, then I'll take some time for fun. Whereas I think in those moments, I should probably be scheduling in more fun. More fun to balance out the work or to balance out the intensity. And maybe you do that too. I think we say to ourselves, fun's the thing that comes after everything else gets done, but we should see it from a different perspective and not in this place of saying, I have to get the most fun out of every moment possible. If you're an overachiever, and I speak from personal experience, there's a tendency to want to maximize everything, to squeeze every last drop out of something. And so if I'm asking you, what do you do for fun? It might be difficult to answer that question. And if you are having difficulty, it's the perfect way to know that you need more fun. So, what does that mean to you? And why is it important for you? And how do you get in this place of figuring out what is fun? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, let's start out by talking about why it matters. Why is it important that we don't relegate fun to the bottom of the list? Well, there are a couple great reasons. One, stress relief. Who doesn't need a little bit more stress relief in their life? Especially if you're in a heightened season of activity or intensity. We're coming up on November. It won't be too long till we hit November. Then it's Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that can bring a just naturally higher stress level between activities and seeing friends or family members and all that people do in preparation for holidays. We need some extra stress relief. So, by having fun, we're going to release endorphins, improve our mood, have a better sense of well being. Number one, that is the big takeaway. But it also enhances creativity, especially when we are outside. If you want a boost of creativity, find something that you enjoy doing outside. I love taking walks. I'm sure you've heard me talk about that a million times. I also love sitting on my porch. And sometimes if I have work to do, I will just take it outside. It is so much more enjoyable for me than sitting at my desk. So find some places where you're able to have fun and know that it's going to increase your creativity. Whether that's outside for you or not, find that place that is fun for you. And that's one of the benefits you're going to get. You're also going to get improved mental health. Fun is a natural antidepressant. It boosts serotonin and dopamine levels in our brain, which promotes feelings of happiness and reduces anxiety, and it can also reduce depression. So, if you're feeling that surge of anxiety, if you've been coming through a season or some circumstances that have you feeling anxious, know that by having fun, you're doing something really positive for yourself. It also gives us stronger relationships, especially when we are doing fun activities with somebody else. And that leads to the next one, better physical health. Maybe one of your fun activities is taking a hike, going on a walk, playing some sports. Maybe you like basketball, even playing pig or one of those kind of games where you're shooting the basketball with somebody else kind of in a competition setting, it's going to give you better physical health and also stronger relationships. So you're going to get all kinds of benefits out of that fun activity. It also boosts our motivation. And that's why, for me, if I'm starting to feel a little bit less than my usual level of motivation, it's a great indicator that I'm not having fun. Fun is a great way to keep motivation levels high. It makes it easier to tackle those tasks that feel boring or that we want to procrastinate on when we have a more positive mindset. It also gives us a better work-life balance. If we can have those scheduled times for fun, it helps to prevent us from experiencing burnout, and it can make us absolutely more productive at work. So I hope that by hearing those benefits, you're saying, "Okay, I do need fun. I see why it's important, but I don't even know how to figure it out." So, the first thing I want to say is just take a deep breath, lower your shoulders, and know that this isn't something about being productive. It's not about figuring out the best use of your time or the thing that is going to be the most fun for you. It's simply about trying something. There have been times in my life where I have had a few minutes and I thought, I'm going to do something fun. And then I start to think, I don't even know what fun is. And so instead of actually doing something, I just wasted all that time because I was trying to figure out what is the best activity for me to do? What's the most fun I can have right now? And I couldn't find the answer. So we want to start by taking that right off the table. It's just about trying something and seeing how that felt to you. Did it work or did it not work? Think about what you've enjoyed in the past. What's been fun to you before? You can start there if you can't think of anything else to try. And maybe that will work. Maybe you have an activity that is kind of a constant for you that you just haven't done in a while. That's a great place to start. If you find that that isn't working either, one of my suggestions on how to figure out what's fun is to take the love languages quiz. I don't know if you're familiar with the 5 love languages, but it tells us how we receive love best. And so, if you're somebody that receives love best through acts of service, think about some kind of service that you would enjoy that feels fun to you. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't get your nails done often, who doesn't usually get a massage. Schedule something like that. For you, that might feel really fun. If you're somebody who loves quality time, find somebody that you want to spend time with doing that activity together. That will probably feel fun to you, and you'll get all those other benefits that we just talked about a couple minutes ago. And you can also think about it from this perspective. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Because if you're an introvert, you generally have fun or you'll get energized by being alone. If you're an extrovert, you're going to get that energy from being with other people. So just knowing that can give you a place to start. Just start somewhere and try something and then decide, is this something I'd want to do again, or do I want to change it up a little bit? And honestly, we should be scheduling in some fun every day, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. And worst case scenario, find something funny to watch. Just that aspect of laughing and smiling, it is going to have all of those or a lot of those benefits that I just talked about. So maybe look for a America's Funniest Video clip on YouTube or Family Feud. Those are two of my favorite ways to get some laughs in. And it's also been shown that if you laugh before bedtime within the proximity of maybe an hour or 90 minutes, that's going to help you sleep better at night. So I hope that you have found something that's going to give you that jumping off point to find your fun. But I want to encourage you that it's really about knowing ourselves, that it's about listening to how we feel, wanting to make an impact for us, not always putting ourselves at the bottom of the pile. So I think when we are in that place of realizing that we are not having fun or we're not having enough fun, it's also a great indication that we probably need to take a look at our schedule. What does our schedule look like? Is it simply that we need to add in at least 15 minutes a day to do something fun? Or is it bigger than that? Is it telling us that we're just really not taking good care of ourselves? And do we need to look at that from a different perspective? If you are in that place of feeling burnout, if you're saying, you know what, I am past the normal point of just needing a little fun, then give yourself space for more concentrated experiences. whenever we're in that burnout zone, we need more than normal of the stuff that's going to fill us and refresh us. So give yourself more space for extra fun and keep doing that until you start to feel the impact, until you start to feel like your stress level is dialed back, you're able to breathe and relax a little bit more. I hope it has a positive impact on you. I'd love to hear, what do you do for fun? What works for you? Because I imagine what works for you is probably something that would work for somebody else. Pop over to social media, comment on this podcast thread. I would love for you to share your fun so that it can spark fun in somebody else. And then, as always, come on back and join me next week as we continue the conversation.